Hello everybody, this is Indian Dash and today I will talk about Steam. And do you think that Steam is still a good place for indies? Is Steam still the good guy as it was earlier? Well, this is not obvious and not really sure because Steam is right now a bit unhealthy. But still I think Steam just gives us so much that we can't really hardly complain. But it depends. Coming up. So years ago, Steam was a really special place. It was the heaven of indies. If you had your game on Steam, it meant instantly a lot of sales, a lot of money, predictable business career in the industry, at least for the years coming, that you can build a budget for from that money. But things are changing, and unfortunately or not, Steam also uh, is changing constantly. After some years, they started to let in more games, right? So first they released, I don't know, maybe one game a week. You can find more exact numbers about that, but basically your game could be on the front page on Steam for a week. Then it shifted and slowly it became one game on a day. But still, if you had your game on Steam and you were on the front page for one single whole day, it meant a lot of sales. Those days, selling 100,000 copies weren't a really big deal at all. But yeah, then came Greenlight. I think Greenlight was a really nice direction, and I really enjoyed Greenlight as it was. Why? Earlier said on forums that Greenlight is a really nice free marketing opportunity, and again people said that I'm stupid because that's not marketing. Why the fuck? I'm sorry, a friend of mine said me that I shouldn't say things like that, and I will try. He's right. So, uh, why wouldn't it be marketing? On Greenlight, there were two kind of projects: one concept project or a Greenlight project. With a concept project, you could upload your idea onto the platform, and a lot of people could see your text, your pictures, your videos, whatever you had about your idea, your game, and they could vote if they are interested or not. This was just awesome for indies because you could test out your ideas, and during that time, you had funds. You could build your community instantly, and Steam gave those views for free. What is it if not free marketing, right? And we don't have it anymore. Also, if you had a Greenlight game, I think that process of having enough votes for your game to let it in was a good idea. The problem was the asset flippers and those who abused the system and offered free keys for votes or even used bots and stuff like that. This is really unfortunate. This was a bad thing, but still, I think if you had an acceptable game, you were able to get into Steam. And at those days, at the end days of Greenlight, it started to be crowded already, really crowded. But still, with Greenlight, we had 5 times less games released on a week, and you know this is a big change. Nowadays we have now Steam Direct. Steam Direct has some kind of advantages and disadvantages at the same time. For example, you can plan out your release date. Earlier, if you were not sure when will be your game released, that's a struggle. That's a problem because you should time your marketing perfectly. You must get the most views on your project on the first day, especially if we talk about the Steam algorithms that will create you a score. I've talked about this in the early access video of mine, that you get a score. Anyway, it was a pain in the ass that you couldn't tell when will be your game released. Now you'll know because you put there your project well before a week, and you know that on this date you will just push the button, everything is prepared, and it will be fine. At least if the servers are up. With Computer Tycoon, I had this problem that Steam itself was working. People could play, people could check the games. But the Steamworks site and application didn't work. So I plan to upload my game, release my game. It was uploaded already. Release my game, I don't know, around 1 o'clock p.m. And I was able to release it around 5 o'clock, something like that. And it was just really bad. On your first day, on your release day, you couldn't release your game for that amount of time. When people are waiting and people were asking, oh, will this game be released at all? What's up? What happened? This guy is unreliable. We are here. Thank you, Steam. Thank you. Really, especially when I didn't sleep for 3 days before my release, and I was absolutely fucked up. Anyway, again, I used bad words, ugly words, I'm sorry. So, going back, nowadays with Steam Direct you can plan out your project, your campaign much better. But because of this new system that you need to pay only $100 and your game is there, you know, the floodgates are opened, basically. With Greenlight, still we had less bad, crappy asset fleet games on Steam than now. Now, I don't know the exact number. I think now on a single day we can have maybe 70 games released on a single day. I think something like that. And Steam changed in a lot of ways. A lot of ways. For example, earlier we had this guaranteed 1 million impressions on Steam. Right now, so many games are released that they just can't provide that 1 million impressions at the start. So the Steam algorithm sometimes works from a smaller amount of views, because you know Steam measures your sales, measures your conversion rate, and if you have a good conversion rate, then your game will be more likely promoted by Steam. But this first chunk of information from which they measure your conversion rate is just smaller right now. So it's bad because if you don't have a good marketing, if you don't have any marketing, then you are absolutely dependent on Steam. And now Steam will generate you, I don't know, maybe 100 sales in that case. If your game is just really not something unbelievable, something really unbelievable, otherwise you're gone. And trust me, your game is not unbelievable. The best games out there, really the best of the best, are just not really like that unbelievable that without a marketing campaign they will survive. That's it. That's the reality. I know that some of you will say excuses and other opinions about that. Oh, the game will sell itself. No, 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 no. Look, you don't have to convince me about your opinion. I will let it go as well. That's the reality. If you check more videos, you will fail without a proper marketing campaign. You don't have to pay money, or at least a lot of money, for your marketing campaign. You can pay with your time, but still you need it. So anyway, if you are dependent on Steam, you are gone today. And a lot of developers are complaining about that on the Steam developer forums. This is really not a new thing, but a lot of guys just realize it there and then. And this is really unfortunate. That's why I give a so big highlight or stress on this right now for you. So how other ways did Steam change? You've lost your first 1 million impression. This is bad. They changed the key system, how you can acquire keys. They reduced the number of keys you can get. They basically said that they would like to create a better recommendation system on Steam. Okay, and it means that basically because they are not manually curating the games on Steam, they like to create better algorithms to promote your game, to show to the players. And this is just really bad because I don't know any systems from even other industries, from the music industry, for example, where those kind of algorithms could really efficiently and properly work. But still, I have to mention that if you try, you can optimize it. Okay, do your legwork with the tags. Check out other games tags and put there into yours if you wanna catch up with those, if you wanna have a connection with those games. Anyway, the main thing that today, if you're an indie game developer and if you are dependent on Steam, you're gone. And this is the biggest difference right now. This is why so many people say that the indie apocalypse is just here and you can make a living as an indie game developer. Well, I must admit that it's much harder than before. It's much harder because, as I mentioned, even during the earlier greenlight period, you could have a lot of sales yet alone by using the marketing of Steam, the promotion of Steam. And it's you will see it in the money right now. Bigger companies will get more sales more easily, while the small guys have to create a really brilliant marketing campaign right now. A good game is not enough. A very good game also not enough. You must have a really outstanding thing to sell on Steam. But here is the question: that is Steam beneficial for the industry or not? Well, I would say they just can't be beneficial because any kind of monopolies are bad for any kind of industries, because you just don't have any more control as a customer, and now the developers are the customers in this conversation. You don't have the control because they have the power, they have the money, they decide in everything. For example, right now another change is that they created a policy change, and from now on the players if they don't set it otherwise, their library is not public. And this means that Steam Spy can't work anymore. Steam Spy was a really nice site where you could see measurements, estimated guesses of how many sales were games able to reach. It wasn't accurate, especially under let's say 10,000 copies. Okay, it wasn't accurate, but from the fluctuation you could see between the owner numbers, you really could estimate the numbers. I checked it several times. I read postmortems and I've checked the Steam Spy data. Then I got my own games on Steam, so I could relate to this as well. Also, I have friends who shared their data with me, and I was quite good in measuring how many copies they were able to sell on Steam. And also I was pretty good in measuring how much income they got. And as a business, if you wanna run a business, safety and being able to predict your sales is just extremely important. I understand that some devs say that they don't want to show how many games they sold, especially if those are big publishers. But honestly, I don't care about big publishers like Blizzard and EA Games and stuff like that, because they will always have their success. It's guaranteed for them. If you are a big company, a big publisher, your ROI rates are really high. Their money of investment compared to their results is just really small. They can have a really nice profit all the time. For them, it's just really business, not art, not passion, not something like that. They have investors, and their investors want to see that they got 20 or 30% profit on their money in this year or in the next year, or it's just business stuff. And they are professionals, they will make it. And who cares if I see their numbers? If they were able to sell 5 million copies of their last AAA game, who cares? I don't. If you are a small indie, that's another story. But still, I would say it's more beneficial for every indies to see each other's sale numbers, because our risk will just grow so much with this new system that it doesn't worth it. I don't care if you know that I saw the 8,000 and I don't know, it's around 8,700 copies. I just said it to you right now, okay? I will share my cell numbers in an article in the future. I will write a postmortem for you, so you will see my results. Because giving back information to my own community has more value to me than keeping it as a secret. Because what will change if I don't tell it to you? Tell me, what will change? Nothing. On my side, nothing will change. For indies, the game industry is just so huge that we will never be able to sell my games to all our potential customers who would enjoy the game. So it really doesn't matter. There is a quote that for an indie, the market is just infinite out there. The only thing you must be concerned about, how will you sell your own game? You shouldn't be thinking about how you can protect your cell numbers, in my opinion. But of course, if somebody is sensitive about his financial situation or his product quality in a financial way, then I can still understand this. Or there is another problem with that I must admit, that when, let's say, you'd like to release your game on GOG as well. Good, because you could get another 10% of sales maybe. But GOG will, or from now that's not true anymore, but earlier they used Steam Spy and they checked if your game sold well. And if it didn't, they were not interested. And they made really polite, really nice excuses why. The team behind GOG is just really polite. They write so kind messages you can't imagine. They always adore you. They always handle you as an important partner. But at the end of the day, they refused you because you were not able to sell tons of copies on Steam. So they just don't care. And it's absolutely fine in the business world. But it's an unfortunate thing that they know this because of Steam Spy, right? But I like to say that from now on, how will they check your cell numbers? Right? They don't have the tool for that anymore, and maybe that's a good thing. So I can understand if somebody likes actually that Steam Spy won't work because it has other benefits. For example, if you really would like to get a publisher, again, they must trust you about your cell numbers. Why I know that GOG checks Steam Spy, or checked earlier Steam Spy? Well, because I had a friend and actually he contacted them, and they responded with the message that your game looks really nice, but please let's wait until it's released so we can check the sale numbers. At least they were absolutely honest with that. When I contacted them with Computer Tycoon, they also said that the game looks pretty good, it's really nice, but they refused it. And do you know why? Because I didn't have a really compelling sale number. And that's it, that's business, that's how it works. Anyway, going back to Steam, what has changed? They changed a lot of policies inside. For example, now we have this new system, the curator review system, and they promised it as something really big and really safe and really good. Because they said something like that in this way you will be able to market your game more efficiently. You can find more influencers, but in my experience, it's just really hard to use it, because those who have the numbers, those who have a big following on Steam or anywhere else, they are YouTubers or anybody, they will get just so many requests, they will get so many keys using this Steam system that they will never ever find your game in their list of keys. So it doesn't work. I don't recommend you sending a key there to Rock Paper Shotgun or Kotaku or something like that, because they just won't know about it. You should not send a key to Total Biscuits or anybody who is big out there, because you know they are overwhelmed. And again, this is why important to use Keymailer. Check out my really long video about practical advices for indie game developers. So anyway, this is something that should be a nice thing, but eventually it's usable only to be sure that if you send the key to somebody, then he is who says himself. Yeah. So you can validate their identity this way. Sometimes I get messages, emails from Twitchers, for example. As I mentioned, Twitchers don't have email addresses often on their profile, so I can check if they are really that Twitcher or not. And key hunters are smarter and smarter, so earlier I got a lot of messages like, oh, I'm this guy who has 10 million subscribers on YouTube. Now they are smarter and they create false fake profiles with smaller numbers, and in this way you are more likely to believe that a small YouTuber or a small Twitcher found you and they are interested, he's interested or she is interested in your game. And with Twitch, you can't really check it if they don't write their email address. Yeah, you could write them a message, but it's just really long and you are busy, right? But now, if they are a curator on Steam, and most often they are, then you can just send there a key for them, and it's absolutely fine. So this is the only useful way of using this system. You can try sending out keys, but from 50 key offers of mine, and I offered it to smaller guys on Steam, I've got, I don't know, maybe 7 reviews. And there was sometimes I'm not really sure if they even played the game. And what I mean that probably they just wrote an opinion about my game from the pictures and things like that. As long as it's positive, I don't care. But the worst part is that those are just really small guys, you know, so it doesn't really work. It doesn't give me a big advantage or a lot of eyeballs or something. But anyway, you can try and you should try because it's free. So, while a lot of things changed on Steam, still I must protect them. And while it's so important that a monopoly is always bad and unhealthy for any kind of industries, still I must protect them because they made it possible to sell Computer Tycoon, and they were who made this really big change with digital distribution. Before Steam, you absolutely needed a publisher. It was just extremely hard to survive without a publisher. Ask Klifsky. He's a really smart developer from Britain who lived and worked at those ages of game development, and it's just really hard. You know, with digital distribution, your costs are much lower, your possibilities are much higher, and it's a really nice thing, and you can thank it to Steam. So whatever they do, I couldn't be here right now without them. And they were who created this possibility at the first place. So how could I blame them without mentioning this? Nowadays, this share of 30% is just really high. It's just really high for that amount of marketing they give you. But still, they can generate you a lot of sales if you had a really nice game and if you had a really nice marketing campaign. So yeah, the biggest sellers, by the way, are having the very same numbers, and you could say that the biggest ones are the AAA studios. Yeah, most of those games are from AAA studios, maybe, but there are a lot of small teams and a lot of small guys who are still able to make a living as an indie game developer because of Steam. As an example, check out the game Startup Company. Startup Company was created by a guy from a Western country, maybe from Dutch. I'm not sure. Denmark. He's from Denmark. And he was yet alone the only one single developer. He worked on it for 2 years. He made a really compelling, nice game. He spent some time with marketing, and Steam just made it happen to him. Okay, there are a lot of factors in that. A lot of factors. I can't give enough stress for that marketing is another profession and you have to know a lot of things. What I'm always talking about here on this channel are just really some practical things, some basics, some of my practices, but you must practice marketing basically, and you must learn continuously. I'm always thinking how I can improve, what else I could do. Anyway, Steam made it happen, and Steam can make it happen yet to you as well. It doesn't matter if they release 70 games on a single day, because most of those are bad. Still, if you have a nice game, and still if you have a nice marketing campaign, you can make it happen. It's just really hard, okay? And you must be really talented and or really motivated and or really educated in a lot of things. That's it. This is a hard business. That's what happened. Indie game development was a really hard thing before Steam, and indie game development becomes again a really hard thing even after Steam. So what else could I say? Steam is unhealthy, but Steam is still one of the most important things. I really hope that there will be a competitor sometime in the future. Right now, I don't really see this competitor. Congratulate, I don't know how to pronounce it, announced another service of theirs, but I don't really believe in it. just as Facebook tried to uh, reboot his platform again for gaming. But I can't hear about the success stories because Steam is about his customer base, and those customers love Steam, you know. It's easy to use, it's safe to use, it has those huge sales for them, and they have their friends and their invested time in Steam, and they won't leave Steam just because. That's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will be back again soon. Please, if you have any questions about anything, I'm here to answer. I can dedicate a full episode just for you. I'm not sure how long I can offer this. I'm personally here to practice English and of course talking about Computer Tycoon. If you like management games or strategy games, please check it out. And in return of my show, please share my games or support me on Patreon, or just give me something back. If it's only a retweet or a share, this is absolutely fine. I'm happy about it. See you soon. Bye bye.